RVs, especially fifth wheel RVs, have gotten to be so big that a lot of people are buying bigger trucks, specifically dualies, to pull those. This dually, it's a 2017 Ram we use to pull our 20,000-pound 3-axle toy hauler. Today, I'm going to be installing a 60-inch tailgate light bar. It's actually two 30-inch light bars. A couple of things that you have to consider before you buy a light bar to put on a dually. First thing you want to consider is, because it is a dually, because of its width, DOT requires these 3 lights, denoting the fact that it is wider than 8 feet. Because it's a Ram, you'll notice that this opening is where you access the lowering mechanism to lower the spare tire. I have figured out that with a 9/16 socket and a ratchet that I can lower the spare tire from underneath, so I'm not going to worry about covering this with my light bar. DOT officers and city police officers have a lot more to do than worry about whether I have my DOT lights or not, so I'm going to remove these to install the light bar. Next thing we need to do is remove the tailgate, and then we'll get started. This connector connects the DOT clearance lights to the rest of the harness. All I have to do is release the lock and unplug it. And it's just a matter of removing these 2 screws. And then I'm going to put the light away someplace safe. So in the unlikely 0.5% chance that some law enforcement officer wants to give me grief over it being missing, I can put it back. Before we get too carried away here, I want to actually plug this in to the 4-way connector and make sure that the light works. And then we'll get started on doing the wiring.
Okay, tail lights, brake lights, turn signal. Okay, it's working.
The nice thing about this particular light bar is, instead of having to cut off this connector and wire it in, they actually give you the other half. So I can wire this into my wire harness, everything except the backup lights, or reverse lights as they're called nowadays. And then I can plug this in to this, which makes the light bar easier to remove should that become necessary at some point. Next, I'll actually wire this into my harness. Everything is all wired up. I used these shrink type solder terminals so that everything is sealed and soldered together inside the sheathing. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to physically mount the light, and we'll be ready to clean everything up. I have cleaned this entire area with denatured alcohol. I have marked the center. Now I will physically mount the light bar. So it's in, it's glued. I've put sheathing to protect all the wiring. I've hidden the connector right down here. It's all double sticky, and that's all there is to it. So, as usual, thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.